victory here over Steve Brown. He wants to start on the ball rather than trying to finish on it. He's finishing on it anyway, and he does. He finishes on the bullseye. It's a single double need for Colin Osborne, which has caused its own problems throughout this match.
20 and tops. And Colin Osborne seals back-to-back 4-3 wins against Steve Brown to open up a 4-point buffer on the chasing pack. Osborne solidifies his position in second place in the table. He had to work for it. He'd squandered opportunities on the doubles, but when it came to the match-winning chance, he took it first time in hand. So Osborne getting the better of Brown by 4-3 in our first game of the day. Coming up after the break, we're going to see Ron Meulenkamp and Kevin Garcia, the bottom two players in the Group C table, in desperate search of a win, going toe-to-toe after this short break. Victory. This has been a good performance off the bat. Average just under 87, but the doubling has been delightful. He's going to get 2 for the match at tops.
Game shot.
And that is a 4-0 win from Ron Meulenkamp, and that was a destructive performance from the bomb in the end. An 88.5 average victory. This has been a good performance off the bat. Average just under 87, but the doubling has been delightful. He's going to get 2 for the match at tops.
Game shot.
And that is a 4-0 win from Ron Meulenkamp, and that was a destructive performance from the bomb in the end. An 88.5 average, but it was a 4 from 5 of the doubles, which restricted the opportunities that Kevin Garcia got. And that restriction was to none, because he didn't get a double at all in that particular match. Right, we're going to take a short break. When we return, it is the man who is top of the pile, the undoubtedly supreme leader of the group, Daryl Pilgrim, is in action against Jeroen Caron after this short break.
Game on.
And he hits back. So maximum's all ready, and we're only a leg and a throw in. That was like one of those old school
42.
playground games, doesn't it? A leg and a throw.
Well, the last 2 meetings between the pair have gone 4-3. Pilgrim
125.
losing out on Thursday to Caron, and it was Mr. P that won the meeting between the pair when it came to Wednesday's action
59.
at the Super Series. Caron winning Tuesday's meeting by, well, in comparison to their meetings this week, a bit more of a comfortable scoreline, 4-2.
180.
But Pilgrim, with 2 maximums in 3 visits, has left double 8 after 9. He's on for a potential 10 data to hit back from the 13 that Karoon mustered in leg 1.
140. W requires 16.
Best leg of the week, and it can only be bettered by 1. So he's already missed a dart for the match, Daryl Pilgrim. 8. He comes back for 3 more at double 4. And makes no mistake second time as Daryl Pilgrim moves on to 10 points, 4 clear of 3rd place in the table as he dispatches of Jeroen Caron by 4-2. The only player to beat Mr. P yesterday has been dispatched by Daryl there. Strong start, average ticking just under a ton, 4 out of 7 when it came to the finishing. Caron stuck with the task for the first 4 legs, but Pilgrim's prowess prevailed in the end. That's the end of the first round of fixtures. Coming up on the other side of this short break, we're going to see Kevin Garcia in action up against Steve Brown. Both of these players in desperate search of a win. Sliding leg from 3-1 down. Brown squandered a 3-1 lead yesterday against Jeroen Caron. If Garcia finds the ball, he may feel like he may be treading down that path again. And from 3-1 behind, Kevin Garcia now has an opportunity to claim a comeback win. Tops.
Game shot.
For the turnaround for Kevin Garcia. And from 3-1 behind, he's a 4-3 victor. That's the 2nd time in 2 days that Steve Brown has squandered a 3-1 lead in a match. Kevin Garcia, with a 78 average, 4 for 12 of the doubles, beat Steve Brown by 4-3. We're going to take a break. When we return, we're going to see The top two players in the league standings go toe-to-toe. Daryl Pilgrim and Colin Osborne lock horns. They do battle after this short break.
Give himself a 6-point buffer on Meulenkamp and Garcia, who are third and fourth place respectively.
And the match,
And Daryl Pilgrim, 100% on the doubles. Could we say 125% on the doubles following the double-double attempt? Another solid performance with an average just shy of 100. A 4-0 demolition job over Colin Osborne, a result that will really pique the interest of the rest of the chasing pack. This group has plenty more twists and turns. Ron Meulenkamp looking to put himself into that second position when he takes on Jeroen Caron in our next fixture.
Double 16 can cause him problems. But is that far enough away to help? That's too close. That's too close to be a guide, and he has to move all the way across. Oh, what a fight!
On a fourth leg,
What a fight that is. That could be dart of the day. Lots of legs difference. Daryl Pilgrim will go through. This could be the king-making moment for Mr. P, but it doesn't go.
97. Ron, you require 16.
Back for the match. But again, it's so awkward because of the barrel. But he finds a way, and he moves up to second place. And Ron the Bomb is making an explosive move on day 2. He gets the better of Jeroen Caron by 4 legs to 2 with an average of 95.45. 4 from 11 when it came to the finishing, and a 76 out, which kind of changed the game. Caron was on a finish at that point. Caron again, a strong start, but just faltered as it came towards the line. We're going to take a short break. Daryl Pilgrim can secure his passage when he takes on Kevin Garcia. 8-8. And the Eagle will fly through to the final. Daryl Pilgrim qualifies for Saturday night.
Daryl, you require 40.
Already through.
To continue his nigh on perfect passage.
Game shot.
Pilgrim wins
Daryl
again.
Pilgrim.
It's 7 from 8 for the man from South Croydon, and he gets the better of Kevin Garcia quite convincingly 4-1. He knows he's through. He knows he's in with that win 4-1. It wasn't his best performance of the group so far, that 84.45, but it was enough. Coming up after the break, Ron Meulenkamp, who now can take full command of second spot. He takes on Steve Brown after this short break.
Ron, you require 76.
Could be another win. Should be another win from this point. But that is a rare slip, and we spoke about how controlled he is being, but that's a rare off dart. Not that it's going to be seismically significant, because he covers well with the second to leave double 16 for the match, and a 4-0 win and a 12-dart leg. And Ron Meulenkamp has motored up the league table. He is now in full control of second place. A 4-0 win against Steve Brown with a 98.5 average. Business-like for Meulenkamp as he walks straight down the stage and back to the practice room. He knows the job that's in hand, and he is doing as good a job as he possibly can. A 4-0 win against Steve Brown. A 98.5 average, 4 from 9 on the doubles. That is a performance that is at the elite end. Coming up after the break, it is down to Colin Osborne to respond to that result from Ron Meulenkamp. Quite simply put, you sense he has to beat the Belgian, Jeroen Caron. That's coming up following this short intermission. In a class of his own, Pilgrim a 4-1 victor. And even when the performances have just drifted off slightly, he has just had too much for the opposition. Steve Brown, his latest victim, by the margin of 4-1. 86.69 the average, and he's so relaxed he'll just sip the water as he walks off stage. He thinks this Modus Live Lounge is his manner, and the way that he's played here at times, who are we to disagree? So that is the tail of the tape. 4 from 9 on the doubles, an 86.5 average, a 4-1 victory for Daryl Pilgrim there against the Bomber. Coming up after the break, we are going to watch Kevin Garcia in action. He's going to be taking on Jeroen Caron, and that's going to be coming up after this short break.
Jeroen, you require 121.
starts on the ball to eliminate the possibility of having to finish on it. And this is
Game shot on
another
the
great
fourth
finish
leg,
from Jeroen Caron,
Caron.
who is now what, 3 from 3. Find treble, of which he does.
Game
And
shot
completes
and
the
match,
game in
Jeroen
perfection
Caron.
style there. Jeroen Caron keeps himself in the running for qualification through this group. It's a very thin opportunity, but he is happy with an average of 99.33, 100% on the outer ring. But we move our attention swiftly to that main event style clash coming up next from Meulenkamp and Colin Osborne. He knows that this is more than just winning the match. This is a chance to get a good score line on the board as well. Won't be rushed. Doesn't feel right in the hand. He will reset. Time, come on, he tells himself again.
2 darts. A double
shot,
16,
and the
and
match,
Osborne
Colin
only
Osborne.
needs the one, and the Wizard is still in the race as he beats Ron Meulenkamp by 4 legs to 1. Won the bomb, who could have sealed his place through. Osborne, despite the win, knows there's still work to do. There's still some frustration there as far as the Middlesbrough man is concerned. But what a performance when he needed it most. A 98 average, 4 from 11 when it came to the doubles. That 86 to finish proceedings off. As for Ron Meulenkamp, who played so well throughout the duration of the day, his worst performance of the day came at the worst possible time. And so Osborne, Meulenkamp, and now Jeroen Caron are still in the race for that second spot in the table. Caron needs to beat Steve Brown, and beat Steve Brown big, you sense, as well. He's got that advantage in terms of legs 1 as well. We'll watch him in action against the Bomber when we return.
Jeroen, you require 136.
But has battled back into this match. Caron just drifting off slightly, but he may get back on the radar with a
Game shot on the
1-3-6
fourth
to
leg,
break the
Jeroen
throw and to
Caron.
make it 3-1. A 12-darter, and he is a leg away from a 4-1 win. 81
Jeroen, you
after 9.
require 81.
And Jeroen Caron has put himself in the mix. He wants double 12 and now double 6 for a
Game shot
4-1
and the
victory
match,
against
Jeroen
Steve Brown.
Caron.
Jeroen Caron has saved his best until last here of the Super Series. Time will tell whether that's going to be enough. He's got the better of Steve Brown. He's done his job, and now he sits backstage and awaits his fate. He needs victories of Daryl Pilgrim. He needs victories of Kevin Garcia. Him and Steve Brown have a chat about the battle they've just had. Caron with an average of 96.35, 4 from 12 on the finishing. That 1-3-6 coming at a crucial passage in play, breaking the throw to go 3-1 to the good. And so Ron Meulenkamp takes on Daryl Pilgrim after this short break. Pilgrim looking to finish off his passage towards tomorrow night's final. Meulenkamp hoping to get there. Victory is of the utmost importance.
Ron, you require
Over the-
116.
Bomb has been lit. He's about to explode.
Can he light up the fuse? Double 18.
Game shot on the fourth leg,
4-1-6 to
Ron
put himself
Meulenkamp.
now to within a leg of qualification through to tomorrow night's final.
The first
Fifth leg,
topless
it's Daryl to
finish
throw
from
first.
Ron Meulenkamp this
Game
week
on.
comes at the most crucial of times. He is on for what odds-wise would be quite a
59.
sizable upset. Did mention that this was the game that Mr. P lost his way yesterday. Game number 5. Meulenkamp is firing.
100.
Meulenkamp now is favourite to progress through. He already had a bite of the cherry on throw if he lost this leg. He may do it against the darts.
100.
He's got the advantage of throwing this leg. And he may give us a bit more. He could do it in perfect style. He's 6 deep.
180.
Białecki's previously qualified for a finals night with a 9. Can Meulenkamp follow in vain?
42. Ron, you require 141.
For qualification. For the 9-dart finish. Even Daryl Pilgrim
89.
was maybe about to be served up from the bomb.
It's double 16. And Ron, the bomb explodes into Saturday night's final. A power-packed display on Friday has qualified him through to tomorrow night's finale at the expense of Jeroen Caron, at the expense of Colin Osborne. Ron Meulenkamp qualifies for finals night at the second time of asking, doing so with a 96.24 average. That 116 checkout, changing the game in his direction, and from that point onwards it was all about him. He went 7 deep into the 9 in the last leg of that match. He rounded it off in 12 in the end. Daryl Pilgrim lost 2 games in that group. They were the last games of the day. That's not going to matter to him. He's through to the final tomorrow night. Colin Osborne and Kevin Garcia, well, they're going to round off their weeks now when we watch them in action after this break. Threatens the break.
Colin, you require 110.
Unless Osborne can find double 50. What an active recovery that was for Colin Osborne. A 110. For Osborne, it's been near miss after near miss. He could have won Group A. He dropped into Group C. He had the opportunity to put himself in pole position overnight.
61.
But he couldn't progress his way through, and he couldn't find the ball.
120.
Well, Garcia found a 112 in the last leg. Is he going to finish off by climbing the ladder with a 120? The answer is no. And so Osborne comes back
40.
with 25.
Colin, you require 25.
To win 4-3. To at least finish with a victory. Double 4.
Game shot.
And Colin Osborne wins the battle, but he didn't win the war. He gets the better of Kevin Garcia in a last leg decider by 4 legs to 3. For the Wizards, it was a case of close, but not quite close enough. It's a win that puts him on to 12 points level with Ron Meulenkamp, but it was the superior legs difference that Ron Meulenkamp accrued. And that mainly down to the fact that in the end, when it mattered the most, Meulenkamp on Friday just went absolutely berserk, didn't he? Averages off the back of 88, followed by a 95. You get the better of Jeroen Caron, and then followed by a 98.56 of beating Steve Brown. Colin Osborne, it kind of unravelled after the Jeroen Caron game. He's been eliminated. It's Pilgrim and Meulenkamp. They progress through to tomorrow night's final.
Yeah, it didn't have anything on it, that final game, because of that performance from Meulenkamp against Pilgrim. 2 worthy qualifiers for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Ron Meulenkamp really stood out today. I thought he was very, very good. Just his whole demeanour was different, so much more positive in his approach play today, and rightly so. Got a result out of it. But I've got to say as well, didn't I say at the start of the day Daryl Pilgrim would win this group? Top tipster.
Pretty safe bet that was. Let's look at the results, because Daryl Pilgrim, well, he's had the same day as yesterday. Won his first 4 matches and then was beaten in his last game, Pilgrim, to Ron Meulenkamp, who got the win he needed to qualify. Anyone who's going to be severely disappointed for you? Obviously, Steve Brown is the obvious one.
Steve Brown's going to be disappointed, but I don't think he came here with expectations of getting through, where Colin Osborne, I think, would have. He would have been expecting to be a challenger to win the weekly title, and now he's not even going to be in Saturday night after having 2 attempts at a Group A and a Group C campaign. So I think he's probably going to be the one that's disappointed, especially the way it's happened for him, because he's just been pipped to the post now on 2 occasions.
Well, Daryl Pilgrim, as we mentioned, has gone on the charge on each day, winning his first 4 matches. We're seeing some of his winning moments here, but will there be a little bit of nagging frustration that he did lose those final games, or will that kind of keep him sharp a little bit, that he knows he can't just come and walk it tomorrow?
Exactly that. He knows that there's a little bit more in the locker as well, which is good. You don't want to walk away from here feeling you've give everything you can. You want to feel like, right, I've left a little bit behind. I know I can push on a little bit further if I need to. The other thing is, yes, he's won the first 4 games and lost the 5th, but there is no 5th game on a Saturday night. He only has to win 4. So he knows he can keep the pace of what is required in order to get over the line to that title. But the thing with the Saturday is every game becomes more important, where here it almost becomes a bit less important for him, because once he's got over the line and he's got that qualification, then he's won the group. Those last games are almost filling fixtures. He'll lose that adrenaline, he'll lose a little bit of the focus. Where on Saturday, the prize money's going up and the emphasis on each match increases. So that's just going to make him better as the night goes on, rather than the possibility of going down.
Yeah, the big performance of the day, I guess, came against Daryl Pilgrim. Ron Muhlenkamp getting that victory in that one. And there was a stunning 116 checkout that really put that game in his grip.
I was concerned for Ron Muhlenkamp moving forward. He didn't have the best of 2023s. He dropped off the tour the previous year. And then you look at it and go, right, 2024, it's a new year. Can he reset and go back to it? Because you can get down in the dumps very early in a season. You miss out on Q School, you don't do well on that first Challenge Tour weekend, freezes you out of all the Pro Tours, then you're chasing throughout the Challenge Tour year, and it can get away from you by March. And you just think, oh, this year's a bit of a write-off. It looks like Ron Muhlenkamp potentially was feeling that, and other things that he's doing now within his career, working within some of the broadcasting, that will just take away the emphasis completely away from having to get results, and that might just make it a little bit easier for him to actually go and then get those results.
And it felt like that when I spoke to him, didn't it? It was almost like, yeah, I'd love to get through Q School this year, but if I don't, it's not that big of a deal. And playing here at the Super Series has given players that backup that if they don't get the tour card, it's not the end of the world.
Guarantees. We don't get many guarantees in the world of darts. The second you go up there and you get your tour card, that's not the end of the road, where a lot of people think, oh, I've got my tour card, now I'm a professional player. No, it gets harder at that point. It doesn't get easier. You lose a lot of access and a lot of opportunity to things that are in the darting world. And actually, when you step off that tour and you come out of that world like I did a couple of years ago now, you realise what opportunities are available here. And then you get guaranteed. You don't have to go and take on the world's top 32 in a seeded system to make sure that you're earning enough to cover what you need to cover. And actually, I would dare say it's becoming easier now, if you are of tour quality, to earn a living away from that.
Yeah, well, a guarantee of finals night for Daryl Pilgrim and Ron Muhlenkamp. They have finished in the top 2 in the Group C table. Colin Osborne just missing out there on leg difference in the end. He did get the win in the last match, but he was too far behind on leg difference. Jerome Caron, we've not said much about him, but let's have a word about him, because he was competitive. He played some really good stuff as a debutant.
I think we really do need to put some praise on him and what he's done this week. Obviously, before I come here, I researched the players intensely, and I couldn't find anything on Jerome Caron that made me believe he would come here and produce what he's produced. Other than the fact of what we spoke about on the very first day, when I said sometimes people just get inspired by the venue, the perfect preparation, and all the conditions that come with it. He's one of those, because he came here with a seasonal average of 78.02. I couldn't find a single average of 90 plus in a recorded game for him. And then he was leaving here with high 90 averages, big checkouts, really, really impressed, and I'd like to see him again.
Yeah, an ADC qualifier from Europe. If you fancy your chances, get yourself on the ADC website and book yourself a place at one of their local tournaments in the UK or across Europe. Remember, Luke Littler actually played on this stage for the first time as an ADC qualifier. Who knows what could happen for you? Right, let's just dot the I's and cross the T's in this group this week. And it's Group A victory for Robert Thornton that seals his 10th appearance at finals night on Saturday. Daryl Pilgrim and Ron Muhlenkamp, as we've been saying, through from Group C. But in Group B, 3 places will be decided tonight. David Davis, Paul Hogan, Conan Whitehead, Chris Landman and Glenn Durrant. And last night, Matt, it was David Davis who dominated. He's as good as there.
He was brilliant last night, David Davies. I was mightily impressed with him. He's getting better every single time he comes here to the Super Series. He's aware that it's not job done right now. There could still be more possibilities of him slipping out of there, but one more win should do that for him. He's got 4 attempts to do it, so I do expect to see him get over the line, but maybe not completely drama-free.
Probably can't end without talking about Glenn Durrant. Henry mentioned in commentary a message he put out on social media about trying to enjoy it tonight. Do you think that one win for him would be a success?
I think if he can find the enjoyment would be the success. He's got to stop thinking about winning. He came here, he didn't come here to win this, but yet last night he put the weight of the world on his shoulders to the point where it was all about the winning and trying to get that result. So I think he's got to park that find the enjoyment. Just enjoy throwing darts, because the results will come as a byproduct of that. When you chase the results, the misery comes as a byproduct.
Well, certainly enjoyed this afternoon. Thank you, Matthew, and hope you can join us for this evening's action live on Sporty Stuff TV or here on the Modus Super Series YouTube channel. It gets underway from 10 p.m. and the final 3 places at finals night will be filled. But as far as this afternoon was concerned, well, Ron the Bomb, he's through to finals night, as is Mr. Perfect, Daryl Pilgrim.
They don't get bigger than the fish, and Mr. P has turned his fortunes around. Wibble and a wobble, the others tend to follow suit. Another one of them leaves the bullseye for Daryl Pilgrim for 164. Well, it can still be done. Triple 24. Bullseye for an act of rescuing
Shot on the 4th flag.
the
Daryl
perfect
Pilgrim.